Oh my gosh. Hooray! A smidgen, perhaps a tiny trickle of hope.
Unless this is sweeps week, in which case, yes, all of the hope. Need that cliffhanger for the next season.
Alright, everybody. Gather up your waters. Get your drinks and snackies. Because we're live.
Your fat cats.
And your fat cats, get them firmly off the table. Hold on. I put down
firmly on the table.
I put down a blanket, like it's like the Twitch blanket, just to get the cats to sit on it so they won't, come climbing up on the table, and I think it's actually working. Abby,
That's crazy.
are you laying on the blankie?
That doesn't work on this one.
I gotta put down the decoy blanket.
Time. Constantly.
Both of my cats have followed me upstairs.
Mommy timer riot. That's how Starbuck is now. But, he had a heart attack, so he's allowed to be a baby.
No. Yeah, he could be a baby. Abby is too large to be a baby. It is like a literal child climbing up on this potentially rickety IKEA table that I've had for going on 8 years now.
This desk that I have is tempered glass, and I think I've had it for, it's getting close to 15 years.
I am so terrified of those tempered glass desks and, like, setting down a can slightly wrong.
This thing is so fucking solid, like, I've moved it across the country 4 times.
Nice.
And into multiple houses in Florida, so it has survived so many things.
We're knocking on plywood, also for the not cursing of Grabella's tempered glass table.
Yeah, when this goes, it goes, and it lived a good life.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to another glorious Monday here on Arctis Ascended. Last week, we had a very interesting battle with an archdevil who had decided to try and take some of the most equally interesting novels out of the Ice Library, a repository for Arctis's memories, and bring them back into the Nine Hells, where he would put them on display for all demons and fiends to see, for a small charge, though. However, the curator was piecing together a very interesting novel, an epic, you might say, of Grabella. And her stories, scattered far and wide, were not found in simply one book, and it seemed like the curator was searching for something particular. From the cobbled-together pages of the myriad story that is Grabella, as you defeated the archdevil and sent him screaming back to the Nine Hells, you picked up the book and began flipping through it. Visions had filled your minds, visions of a bygone age, of things relevant to your current situation. A vision of an old frost elf sorcerer, wizard. A searching elf looking to save his people. And a lost but hopeful Earth Ganassi, who was willing to do anything to save and protect her precious world. As you looked upon the pages of this novel, Grabella, these memories began to float. Excuse me, I was going to say float back, but flow back with a vengeance, like a dam bursting in your mind. This woman that you saw within the book's pages was your mother, and had wished a terrible but great wish. Presumably filled with the best intentions, the Tao were never known to fill a wish so easily. And although she wanted her daughter to be strong and powerful and ready to face any evil that would come upon Arctis, it also cursed her to a life where she would continue returning whenever evil reared its ugly head. But Grabella, and all of the memories that followed her, would forget what happened in her previous lives if she met with an untimely end. Rebella now understanding that your living perpetuity, your rebornness, was created by a wish brought to you by your own mother at the cradle of the stone-born Tao. And now that Grabella has a little bit more insight on her origins, it has perhaps created more questions than answers. Why would the curator be piecing together parts of the epic known as Grabella? Could it be that the demons from the Nine Hells also sought to seek the secrets of wishes? Or was it something that even Grabella can still not remember? Perhaps more answers will be found in the Great Ice Library. We will return today to the Ice Library foyer. Is it the foyer? Hold on, now I gotta look.
This is like the third floor.
The third floor of the Ice Library's tower. The curator has crumbled into a black ichorous ink that has seeped through the cobblestones of the library, leaving only a few crumpled pieces of his clothing behind. As you search through not the wreckage, as you search through whatever remains of the curator, perhaps you will find something useful. Will you stay within the tower and find more secrets on Grabella, or press on in search for the dragon demon of nightmare, Vanix, who has now found his way burrowing like a worm into the meaty parts of the sleeping dragon's brain, known as Arctis? Let us return to the Great Ice Library. The curator is dead. Or at least for now, banished back to the Nine Hells. Unable to re-access Arctis's mind, at least one great enemy will no longer haunt Arctis. One moment, please.
Oh, damn, it is the foyer. That's a tall foyer.
It's a big foyer.
Are these raised ceilings? It looks like raised ceilings.
You could fit a 15-foot size Costco Christmas tree in here.
You get one of those skeletons from, like, 20-foot skeletons from Home Depot.
The origami golems that the curator has summoned are no more, leaving only burnt paper marks upon the floor of the Great Ice Library. The curator himself, dissolved into ink, has left an ichorous smudge on the tile. As you pick through the various pieces that he has left behind, you find cloth and a couple of potentially interesting trinkets. Laying on the ground, a crumpled piece of deep blue cloth that the curator was wearing as a mantle lies in a heap. Searching its pockets, you find a gem, a black diamond, cut in a multifaceted way that it both reflects and absorbs the ambient light around you. In the other pocket, a jangling of coins, golden or perhaps even brass, with the emblem of a skull pressed into them. Hidden somewhere in the folds of cloth is a singular lens rimmed with brass, but the lens itself is red as blood. And lastly, as you give the pile of cloth a shake, a twisted twig of wood, and at the tip of it holds a jagged and very sharp-looking obsidian crystal. you may all take a look at what the curator has left behind, as these things are potentially very interesting.
Rubella's just kind of sitting on the ground with her book.
Grabella, as you flip through the pages and curiously go to the end, you begin reading. As her friends went to go examine the curator's contents, Grabella sat on the floor of the Great Ice Library with the book open in her lap, lost in her thoughts. She skimmed to the back of the page, as if a unseen voice was compelling her to do so. As her friends looked at the curator's contents, flipping through it, they began to cast magical spells to identify the magical contents to see whether they could be used for good or for ill. As you turn around and look, everyone is discussing how to identify the items. It appears the words on the page are mimicking exactly what you are doing and thinking right now.
She is gonna shut the book and just kind of hold it and stare off.
Grabella sighed and shut the book, and that's the last thing you see. Rain, as you begin to look at the things along with Sea Swab, the mantle of the Soul Collector, the dark blue cloak, and as you give it a cursory fluff to kind of straighten it out a little bit, you can see wisps of ghostly forms trapped within the layers of cloth. If you wear it, you can expend a soul contained in a soul coin or any captured soul. That does include the books of soul stealing or soul pearls found within Neresa's chamber. To avoid death once, you'll regain a hit point instead of falling unconscious. While wearing it, it will also grant advantage on charisma checks when interacting with fiends. The resonant black diamond, as you identify it, is something that is not native to Arctis, and something only forged within the crushing pressure of the 9 hells. It resonates with the heroes of Arctis and will allow you to either combine 2 magical items together into a single, more powerful one, or it can be used on a spell, one spell, to add a sorcerer metamagic property to the spell permanently, such as Quickened, or Silent, or any of the sorcerer metamagic properties Sea Swab is very intimately aware of. You can also sell it. The soul coins, as you give them a look, are highly magical, and an infernal currency found in the 9 hells. These hold souls of creatures, and can be spent or used to barter in infernal deals. While you're holding the coins, you can sense the torment of the creatures trapped within, and they are coveted with devils and other fiendish creatures. The curator's monocle, a finely crafted thing, is encased in Feronian brass, etched with runes, with a smoky red lens. It glows faintly when worn. If you gaze through it, it pulses with malevolent energy, and infers that it might also be watching what you're watching, more than it actually reveals something new. It provides infernal resistance, advantage on saving throws against being charmed or frightened by fiends. It provides soul-piercing vision. Through the lens, you gain dark vision out to 120 feet, and true sight up to 10 feet. You can also use it to focus and call the infernal. Once per day, you can channel the monocle's sinister power to cast Summon Lesser Demon. You whisper an invocation and summon an ally from the abyss. Though these demons are not known to obey so readily, especially if the wielder is weak or uncertain. Last but not least, The twisted band of dark black wood holding an obsidian crystal is a wand of binding. While holding the wand, you can use an action to expend some of its charges to cast Hold Monster for 5 charges, or Hold Person for 2. While holding it, you can use your reaction to expend a charge and gain an advantage on a saving throw that you would make to avoid being paralyzed or restrained. Or you can expend a charge and gain advantage on any check you make to escape a grapple. These are the items that you find on the collector.
So we're 100% giving the monocle to C-Swab, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
So that he could actually freaking see when the rest of us are running around with our dark vision.
Yeah, that checks out.
Ready? I'm taking the monocle.
He will no longer have an excuse for not being able to find us, so it's only going to be him not paying attention.
Yeah.
This, in and of itself, is worth.
Plus, his dark vision is good for 120 feet. So it's a little bit better than what you might currently have.
Gotta have LASIK.
Yeah, my eyes.
But only in one eye. You have no depth perception in darkness.
Yeah, that is probably true.
Don't give the DM ideas.
I don't need to give the DM ideas. There's literally nothing I could say that she hasn't already nefariously concocted. Trust me.
This is when
very
you
true.
realize that the Pasne of True Sight was just really breaking far too many rules. One eye only.
Sleep with one eye open!
Dude, honestly, true sight on all the time within 10 feet, that would fuck your brain so hard.
It really would.
Like, you just see into the ethereal, the weird shit going on around you all the time. No thank you, sir.
Like a ghost kind of passes 5 feet behind you and you turn around and it's suddenly out of range and you can't see it anymore.
Oh, God. Oh, you just made it worse somehow than even I was imagining it. See what I mean?
And what of the rest of you? What accursed items from the 9 hells will you be taking advantage of today?
Rubella will slowly come look at what there is. You could tell she's very out of it after seeing this book.
That gem could be useful for anybody who wanted to modify any of their existing spells to be more effective. I don't know if anybody has any of these gems or has ever used one, but you can actually modify spells as equally as items.
I feel like the cloak and the coins needs to go to one of our squishies.
I'm not sure how I feel about people consuming souls with the cloak, but
It uses the coins, right?
which are souls.
Oh, are they? Okay.
And just FYI, you know, if you decide to use the souls, you know, I'm not gonna judge or anything, but you can use soul pearls as well. You can use any soul that you have bound with the Book of Soul Stealing. The coins
And
are
nobody
just-
does anything like that in this party.
No, you guys are all so good. I'm just here to offer temptation.
We got rid of the
Well,
asshole
collector-
who bound souls.
Grabella wants to see what's going on here with the book and this guy.
The mantle seems good for me as well, but like I didn't want to be greedy, but also like
No, most of that looks like it's for you, 100%.
Grabella, I'm
Oh.
going to real quick remove your prone.
Yes, I got a little too close. Also that. I've been scooting across the floor.
Scoot, scoot, scoot.
Scoot.
Wangdoodle, describe your ornithopter to Grabella.
Oh, it's nothing special. It's just big old, just a little flying machine. Just not in any particular shape or form or anything.
Yeah.
Gravilla wants to look at the book at the ground more than
The book the ornithopter is currently sitting on has an unknown name on its binder, and the contents are less than interesting. You find it details a human that lived in a city called Verticula, where they lived and practiced an ancient art of necromancy. Do you read on?
yeah.
They served a person known as Frankier, who was a high necromancer, and who intended to defy not only death, but the gods themselves. Grabella continues reading while everyone is sifting through the ink.
Hey, Rain, I got a book about one of your shit wizards over here.
Oh, shit wizards.
Yeah, it's about some sort of necromancer. I don't know if it's important or not, but it's what that guy was looking at.
Oh, necromancers aren't inherently shit wizards, only if they become liches.
Much of the book is dedicated to their study of necromancy, understanding the flow between life and death, how one could be brought back and used for even the most mundane purposes, plowing the fields, caring
Rain
to a
skips
shop.
all of this. It goes straight to the end. Does it detail a small, helpless skeleton named Frank at the end?
Gravilla.
Rain, half of the book has been torn out as you flip through into the last pages.
No! I mean, there's lots of necromancers for Verticula. It could possibly not be Frank. Oh, sorry. Frank used to be a necromancer before he got all his skin melted off by the volcanic lava. If you all didn't know that, now he's just lovable Frank, the skeleton.
Interesting.
Okay.
I mean, we can't judge. We do have HR.
HR will always be with you.
Yes.
Alright, boys, you should figure out what you're doing with the loot over there. Somebody should at least take the cloak and the soul coins just in case as a get out of jail free, I suppose. They're already contained in coin form. I don't suppose there's anything helping that now.
I mean, I can take them to barter with for,
No, that you should not do. Absolutely not.
No, that needs to stay with one of us. She's right.
Whoever wears the cloak should keep them as an actual safety net. We should not be doing any bartering of souls.
Oh, what about a little bartering?
No voice in the sky. Quiet.
Oh.
Everything on red. Let it ride.
Gambler.
Also, I'm pretty sure 5 soul coins in hell. I'm sure that's I don't even know if you can get a gumball for that out of a machine.
Grabella will now also relay to Rain what the book she's holding is.
Which book?
The book, her book.
The Epic of Grabella. She waves it at you.
Oh, yeah, I handed you that book. Because it was your book.
Should I take it? Should I leave it? I don't know what...
Oh, well... Maybe hang on to it for now, until we cleanse this place, but then probably put it back. I don't think you want to know... Well, I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't look like I could look ahead, but it does...
I mean, you guess you got the theory that if you've already kind of subconsciously made up your mind, then it should already be in the book.
Do you look at the last pages, Grabella?
Sure.
Grabella flipped to the back of the book, wondering subconsciously if he could divine her future from reading the final pages. And as she searched the words that were crawling across the page as quickly as she could think them, it seemed like they were only a current recount of the events that she was currently receiving.
Yeah, I don't think it works like that.
She said to the party, "I don't think it works like that."
Yeah, see?
She holds it up for Wangdoodle and Ray.
Oh,
Holding it up to Wangdoodle as proof, the words crossed across the page. See?
well, I suppose then the only question for you is, do you want to know more about your past? The collector went to an awful great length to collect it. Not for you, obviously, but if that's something you want to know, I suppose it's all in there. Otherwise, you should leave it here to continue being written for as long as you are you.
As Kozlo is watching all of this, presumably getting written onto the book while Grabella's holding it up, he'll just start going,
Poop! Poop and butt and poop and fart, butt, poop!
You realize that you've already put like a lot of that in here, right? You don't need to add more.
Grabella sneered in disgust as the words poop, poop, fart, and poop were instantly scrawled across the page as Kozlo yelled across the room.
Is this how we get our own BG3 a narrator? Is this how it works?
Yes. We've just discovered our narrator.
You know, you like say that. Remember the whole thing with Sunny?
She'll flip back to the in the book and show it to him. Giggling about
Now
poop.
I know there's just a page in there referencing this wormhole.
Sunny
Yeah,
looked at
poop is
Grabella
pretty funny.
open-mouthed as Kozlo said, "Poop." "Oh, is poop funny?" Sunny had inquired to the small goblin, who continued saying poop, to no avail. It seemed like the Minotaur was not partial to potty humor. They would have to find some other way to get the Minotaur to laugh.
Which I think just became Kozlo laughing at poop and then him also finding it funny. We had to convince him it was funny.
The slow-witted Minotaur was finally convinced through the laughter of others that what Kozlo was saying was humorous, and laughed along, albeit slightly awkwardly, along with his friends that he treasured so much.
No, I miss Sunny.
Well, I'm going to propose that we all take a breather.
Yeah.
Grabella, no offense, you're more fucked up than I've ever seen you.
Yeah.
So maybe we rest here. We could talk a little bit about if we're going after Vanix. What Vanix is. Maybe we can better prepare for him than we were for this gentleman.
Yeah, I definitely need a breather.
All right.
I'm a little exhausted.
Let me set up the dome.
No.
Let me see that dome, the dome.
Does anybody want this wand?
Nerd.
Which
Uh,
wand?
The wand of Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo?
Yeah, the wand of binding.
Sure.
Seems like a very good wand. Very powerful item to keep in somebody's back pocket.
Alrighty,
Seems
Wangdoodle.
seemed quite powerful.
Grabella is gonna put her. Oh god, where did I go? Hello?
You're in the hut!
Welcome to the dome.
Oh god, I can't see in my face. Why am I getting the wand? I don't want the wand.
I gave it to
Alright.
Wangdoodle. Are you on top of Wangdoodle?
Did I drop the dome right on top of where you dropped the wand?
I think I might
Yeah, I
be.
dropped
There
it
we
on
go.
Grabella.
Grabella's under
That's what the
Wangdoodle.
issue was. I can't see.
Grabella's under Wangdoodle? Oh my
I
god.
can see Wangdoodle's token. I can't see anybody else's token.
Yeah, we're all below the everybody else is below the hut for some reason.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
The hut is apparently
That's why
slightly over
I didn't
everybody.
sit on Wangdoodle. God damn it.
So, so Vanix is a being of nightmare. We should probably be prepared accordingly.
What does that mean?
Well, the last time I fought an avatar of him, he was a rather large, nightmarish dragon, particularly susceptible to psychic assaults himself, but also very adept at returning psychic assaults in kind.
Oh, I am so screwed.
Also, very good at sending people hurtling through their own nightmares, in freezing them in fear, those types of things. He is also a fiend, so I don't know how, tremendously useful the usual suspects are going to be, things like large amounts of fire, etc. But things like radiant attacks probably are good. Things that can, contend with dragons, also good. I wouldn't fall asleep around him, though, if I were you. Not that anybody would probably be doing that.
Not on purpose.
He did drive me mad once. But that was mostly because he caught me unawares and I was astral projecting through other planes at the time.
Well, I'll do what I can, but I'm not very good with fixing or fighting that kind of thing.
Oh, you can still stab him just fine.
Okay.
Well, the dragon avatar, you could still stab just fine.
May need somebody to protect my brain.
Or just make sure we keep you angry so you can't die.
Also that.
As you all sit within the comfortable confines of Rain's tiny hut, the bedrolls sitting on the ground, and you finally are able to put down your heavy bags and take a bit of a load off. The threat of a nightmare being, as you are already trapped within Arctis's mind, is worrisome, and you wonder if he has more power here than he would potentially elsewhere. It is unnerving, to say the least, and gives you pause. Is it actually safe to sleep within the Great Ice Library? Or will Rain's protective magical bubble keep most of these evil beings at bay? Have you all thought about your pressing question and what you would ask Arctis at the end?
I think Kozlo, we kind of decided it was going to be the backup question in case we needed another question.
Actually,
Good.
Wangdoodle, we haven't had a chance to talk. I know you have some ideas on the slow yourself. What were you planning on asking? You seem to be always pulled away for some kind of tech support on the Audacity whenever these topics come up.
Yeah, as maybe giving Morris responsibility wasn't the best idea.
I like that we're working this into canon. That's Morris's fault, yes.
There's just something that doesn't seem quite right with me about the slow. It seems like it's destructive, right? But it doesn't fit. It seems like there's a lot of opportunity there. a lot of the things about, most spellcasts can be explained, right? They've all been written down and it's been studied. We understand it, right? But like, hear me out on this. So, you got some sorcerers can change stuff around, right? So like a fireball is no longer a fireball; it's like an ice ball.
Sure.
Right. So that means that there's some kind of, basically some kind of scale that allows for that like change to happen, right? You're basically just going from hot to cold, like hot to not hot. So the slow should act somewhere in that same grid, I think. I hope.
So your aim is perhaps to understand a way to transmute the slow? Some way to purify it to be useful?
Basically take it from anti-magic to generating magic. If it's an inverse of some kind, then we can find a way to do a lot of good with it.
Refinement, then.
Yeah, I mean, weaponizing it's not that hard. I mean, my flamethrower's been doing it for a while. The gun that fires warning shots made us slow.
Yeah, very crude technology, or magic rather, that can use it though, it seems. Because it just starts to break things down too quickly. But I suppose you can certainly hurl slow at a very high velocity out of the barrels of things.
Yeah, there's a little bit of kind of, you kind of have to make an anomaly enough to like give it enough stasis to be used in that moment.
But if you were to do this in a way that would actually save Arctis, you would have to be able to do it at scale, massive scale.
Well, yeah, that's ultimately the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Which it wouldn't be too difficult to retrofit all of Lou's, what he calls experiment.
So what would you do with all of the slow if you were to refine it? Would you store it somewhere? Like a reserve? Because certainly you won't be able to use it all as quickly as you refined it.
Well, right. But what if he delivered it to areas that, were kind of lacking? I happen to remember hearing some stories before on the Audacity about some areas that are kind of, magic starved.
Rain kind of smiles at Wangdoodle. You're not such a mad scientist after all, are you?
Mad scientists, it's kind of weird because you need someone who's gonna be brave enough to say, I'm gonna do this thing that we don't like to do. And yeah, I mean, I could explode in the process. Any single day, one of these experiments could go wrong and I could just melt down. Like, actually melt down. But we'll never know if we don't try.
Well, I would say if you're successful, you'll have officially earned that promotion from intern to research assistant.
We'll talk about that after publication. I had a way that I wanted to word my question, but I guess just for some reason I just can't think of what it was.
I wish we had written this down because I can't remember what it was. It's been too many weeks.
Well, Wangdoodle just answered Rain what Rain's question is going to be, so. It was between two options.
I think mine was with the City of Brass, though, wasn't it?
I think some of you guys were thinking about the City of Brass as like a backup question. I
think that's probably even more on Grabella's mind after seeing this book and seeing that her mom was involved. And that Narcissa wasn't full of shit when she said she knew her mom or might have her in the set of souls with her.
My question was going to be about the elements. It was going to be a selfish question.
That tracks. Yeah.
But mine was also going to be because we weren't sure if it was one question for the group or one per person. So it was going to be if it was like one per person
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the group, then I was going to take a backseat to that.
I think I will. If your interest is in trying to find a way to make the slow useful, Wangdoodle, and at least not toxic to Arctis himself, I think I would try to find a way to repair the ley line damage that's already been done. Both to help the slow flow where you need it, as well as to repair the damage after we get the slow less toxic, I guess.
Well, not to mention that once we got the slow refined, if my theory's right anyway, then, you could also strengthen the ley lines with it.
Perhaps. It also helps deal with our current Vakara situation a little bit, I think, as well. Considering that the Earth Elementals and other Earth Ganassi peoples are living in a place devoid of any ley lines that have been cut off now by Novus.
There are some times when we're going around that I kind of forget that you're royalty and that diplomacy is kind of important for you.
Well,
Yeah,
I had kind of murdered my way to the top. I can only murder so many people. It's pretty time consuming, actually.
You've done a lot more murdering than statecraft for as long as I've been around you.
It is kind of the thing that I am good at. I did not ask to be queen. I'm more action-oriented, I suppose.
Wangdoodle remembers the stare down in the banquet hall that one time. Yes, definitely a a person of action. Certainly no doubt here at all.
Oh, please. You weren't even around when we toppled the ruling houses of Maginox, Wangdoodle. That's nothing.
I'm sure there'll be time to reinforce the idea that I have still a lot to learn about you.
Oh, you're pretty spot on, though. Like, murder is very effective.
Somebody say mighty! Who are we killing?
They build it, we break it.
It's the finely applied, targeted murder, I think, that's most effective, though. Wanton slaughter is a little bit unruly.
Yes, discreet homicide, not your bargain barrel. Just random killing.
Cultured, highbrow, targeted homicide.
Your finest artisan
Specific murder.
Locally sourced organic homicide.
Free range, handcrafted.
killing.
Bring me your finest vintage.
Your vintage murder from, let's see, what was a good year for murder?
Alright, well. Anyway.
USDA Prime Exsanguination, sorry.
That's what was happening prior to Rain toppling the vampires of Maginox.
Oh, here I go killing again.
Actually, somebody who might know something about Vanix before we all rest, if you all have questions. Rain pulls out her sword. Manaflow. I'm going to try something. We'll see if it works. Rain will recast the telepathic bond with including Manaflow as one of the creatures.
Oh. Okay.
Because I think technically she could just float and be a creature.
She can.
So I think it would work. I don't know, we'll see. Find out.
Rain, as you begin to cast your telepathic bond with your sword held aloft, your allies feel the familiar tickle in the back of their brains as you all now mirror each other's thoughts and can whisper in the back of each other's minds. But there is a new presence, a strange one, something unseen. It is a specter, a spirit. And she has a young, youthful, and more happy voice than you would expect. Oh, hello? Is this thing on?
Everyone, this is Pecco Manaflow, soulcraft and artificer extraordinaire. Pecco, this is everyone.
Oh.
Ta-da!
Hello, everyone. As Rain said, I'm Pecco Manaflow, and well, you might be wondering why I'm in a sword. No?
So you found yourself in a sword.
Well, pull up a chair. There's a certain group of us, young and, well, once able-bodied artificers, who studied soulcraft. Now relatively banned in Arctis for obvious reasons. We were trying to figure out just, well, how the world worked. What happened in Arctis after people, pass on. We discovered a lot of things, hypothesized on others. But the most concerning thing was the fact that Arctis had put up barriers around itself, or himself, in order to protect him from outside forces. We were interested in studying this barrier as it had a lot of very similar aspects to how a soul protects a body. As a body cannot live without a soul, we hypothesized that Arctis, too, could not live without, well, all of the beings that lived upon him. And as Arctis, in the lore, I suppose, flew across the cosmos, it was like a guardian or a protector. We had hoped it took all of the souls that lived and died upon his back with him. Arctis was just as much a part of the people that lived on his back as we were of him. Now, you may or may not be familiar with the concept of the Ascended, those that protect Arctis and this magical barrier from anything that might want to hurt it. But if the barrier is made up and, dare I say, powered by these souls, then it would have the same weaknesses as a soul would. The soul isn't some impenetrable barrier. It has just as many intricacies, flaws, pores, holes, whatever you want to call it. And we decided to study the difference in, well, whatever made up the soul of creature to creature. Was an elf soul any more powerful or potent than a human soul? A goblin soul? A kenku soul? And without hurting them, how could we find out more information? Well, it turns out all the things that we had thought of, the whole of the soul being a penetrable barrier, that's true. What surrounded Arctis was made up of souls. Visually, you may have seen it as the aurora borealis, beautiful colors of light that arc across the winter sky. A visual representation of the barrier that protected us. Arctis is not, as you all are full aware, immune from everything crawling across the cosmos. There's lots of dangers coming at him from above and below, and he thought that the Ascended, the most powerful of Arctis's heroes, would be a backup plan, a protectors watching over this barrier, and making sure his precious life that he cultivated on his back would continue to prosper. But as we dug deeper and analyzed more, and did additional tests, we discovered that these holes and these weaknesses were not so easily fixed. But the barrier that is an amalgamation of all of life would be torn, would be rent. And so, with the artificers that had studied this, we had created a group, a cast dedicated to preserving and protecting this barrier. And that if we came across a rip or a tear or an irregularity in the barriers surrounding Arctis, we would be the first line of defense. But in order to do this, we would have to, well, get rid of some of the complicated elements, namely our physical forms. Or a rift or a tear in the barrier could only be repaired by souls. And we couldn't do this if a soul was currently occupying a living body. The cast had eventually evolved, and those of us that had given up our physical bodies, well, this might sound a little funny, but we put them in weapons. You might think, why weapons? Why not orbs or a chair or do something, I don't know, something else?
Kozlo has a look on his face like, no, weapons is the obvious choice. What are you talking about?
Well, for one, a soul has to be bound to something. It has to be centered. Or else it tends to either float off into the ether or be captured by something else more powerful than it. Or a soul that is separate from the body is very, very weak and prone to being manipulated by outside forces. And it is no small feat to separate a soul from the body. 2, it was important that we were still able to carry on our teachings, be used, be helpful to those that agreed with our teachings, who understood the importance of souls and how all of us, living or dead, protect Arctis. We wanted to be with people, be at someone's side. It's part symbolic, being a weapon for Arctis, and part, still having the ability to defend what you believe in. The weapon seemed apt. And some of us, well, when we are unburdened, untethered souls, we find these rips or tears in the ether. Sometimes we even take on a weapon-like form in order to fill those gaps, and fill the tears until they can be healed permanently. And as we continue to pass on our knowledge, well, we hope that someday, maybe there's a means where, I don't know, we won't need to be used anymore in that manner. But it seems like there's always some sort of threat. Something wanting to take. Something from a being that just wants to nurture life, to learn from existence, to understand what it is to live, what it is to love.
Pecco.
Oh, I'm sorry, am I rambling?
Well, a little bit, but it's lovely hearing you talk about yourself, actually. You don't talk about yourself nearly enough. But maybe it's a good time to share with everyone what rift you have chosen in particular to seal with your spiritual form.
Right.
As it is relevant to the, thing we're about to go do.
As you all might be aware, there are many interconnected planes. These planes of existence hold many exotic and frightening creatures. The ethereal plane, a plane of spirits. The elemental planes, as I'm sure you are aware of. And some of these overlap each other in places, allowing easier passage. For example, the material plane that you're on right now, extremely close to the ethereal plane, the realm of spirits. Some of these planes that overlap may allow things through that we might not want in there. But I, in particular, and thanks to Rain, he had discovered a rift in between the realm of dreams and the material plane. And presumably from the realm of dreams, a demon dragon of nightmare, Vanix. He had wormed his way in out of the nightmare and was attempting to encroach upon the material plane. But he was not able to get his full essence through. Instead, it lay in a foul egg in the place between worlds where the planes overlapped. He had placed this egg here, hoping it would hatch, and like a worm, like a parasite, wriggle its way back into the material.
I'm sorry. I just got something that you just said. Just made me curious. You said his full essence couldn't get through, like a flow rate, or potentially. Just hear me out here. Is it possible that like his strength in that plane kind of anchored him there?
Presumably so. The demon dragon of nightmare is at his most powerful in the realm of dreams. But it takes a significant amount of power in order to sustain his being outside of it. The realm of dreams is closer to the realm of fairies than it is the material plane. It is something of thought and wishes, ideals, and well, dreams. But dreams cannot instantly manifest into reality. Normally we have to work for our dreams and make them happen for ourselves. There's only a few very powerful fae that can even manifest dreams into reality. But if something were to try and persist from the dreaming onto the material plane, it would require a significant amount of power. And the more larger the creature is, the more powerful it is, the more power it requires to sustain itself on a plane that is not its home plane. As you are all creatures of the material plane, it is easy for you to sustain yourselves until, of course, your natural lifespan runs. But we've found during our studies in soulcraft that every soul burns at a different pace. Humans like bonfire, blazing, almost uncontrollable, passionate. They burn out within only a short amount of time. But they can manage so much in that amount of time. Elves are like candles. They burn slowly, controlled. But they too have a wick that burns out. And everyone tends to be a little different, of course, and the threads of fate that bind souls can also have an effect on the lifespan, but I'm getting a little bit off topic. Vanix was unable, at least at the moment, to entirely sustain himself within the material plane, even though he found a rift. For a creature of nightmare can really only persist within nightmare. So the parasite he had planted, something between the planes, he hoped would nurture itself both within nightmare and the material, and potentially the ethereal. Does that answer your question? If it grew up between the planes, it would be a creature of all of them. But as Vanix is only a creature truly of the dreaming, he did not have enough power to sustain himself. But perhaps his leech-like progeny would.
Sorry, I started thinking about how it sounds like the system itself is naturally balancing. You can't bring the full power over, and then you struggle to sustain yourself to the point that you no longer have the power to remain over there, but you're still powerful back home, just not powerful enough to do it again.
Mm-hmm. The planes are separate for very good reason. If, say, the elemental plane were to fully envelop the material, we would live in a chaotic, unbalanced world of whatever that primary element would be, whether it be water, fire, lightning, air. The planes are self-containing, but a small amount of power does cross through them, through what are known as ley lines.
If... That... Wangdoodle is doing some mental arithmetic and some mental gymnastics as you see his fingers flip up and down, almost like he's counting. You know, at the risk of potentially disrupting, multiplanar balance, I'm curious as to what the effect slow would have on one of those, for lack of a better term, gateways?
We've seen in Arctis's history that, at the very least, slow is considered a type of almost nigh chaotic anti-magic. It does not have enough predictability to sustain itself, but in its chaos, somehow does. It has a very negative effect on anything magical that comes across it. So, it's kind of like the immovable object and the unstoppable force.
Well, see, that's part of the quandary, because we know that slow is also high in energy, because it's constantly making its own self-destructive processes, but then also at the same time stabilizing it.
You're very, very clever. Entirely true as well. Although my studies weren't dedicated entirely to the slow, it seems like the chaos of it is a form of self-sustaining energy, but we hypothesized that whatever it broke apart, like river over the rocks over a long period of time, would sustain it. But have we seen the slow burn out? Not yet. Though, we did have a darker hypothesis, that if there was simply no magic remaining within a world, within Arctis, then the slow too would fade. Though I shudder to think of what a world would be like without magic.
Does seem to have some self-replicating properties, more like a virus or some other organic pathogen.
We did think at one time that it was very viral in nature, though we did not get to study this more, nor did we deem it appropriate to do experiments on living subjects.
Well, wait a second. You brought up your own point. Is that it doesn't seem to burn out. So it eats up the magic, but it doesn't get consumed in eating up the magic. So really, if there was an absence of magic, there would be an abundance of anti-magic. We just don't know if the anti-magic has a critical mass.
What do you think? What do you hypothesize would happen if not only Arctis did not have magic, but all of magic ceased to exist? Do you think the slow would eventually burn out, or become the dominating form of energy within a planet?
So let me use a little analogy here. So let's say the slow is a boat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a boat awash out in the ocean, right? In this case, Arctis is the ocean, okay?
Sea swab your stomach makes an audible noise.
So, as it consumes magic, it's loading on more cargo in the boat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, it'll get to a point where the boat starts to sink because it's got too much on it. It's got too much cargo.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's, that would be our critical mass to the point that it's going to start basically destroying itself. But we see that it actively does that and at the same time creates enough energy to start consuming again because it doesn't go anywhere. So it's already self-destructive by nature. So if there was a critical mass for it, potentially, it could effectively implode on itself and create magic, maybe? I mean, I don't know. We don't have anything... there's nothing else I can pull off of it, but what happens when anti-magic implodes?
Interesting. I've not been able
Terrifying.
to... You both have very different reactions. I've not been able to find such a quantity of slow before to run such experiments, but if it were self-contained to the point where it did reach some sort of critical mass, either it would implode, or merely take everything out with it.
I'm sorry, how are those two things not the same thing?
I suppose it is the size of the implosion and how much slow we are talking about.
Feels an awful lot like you two were talking about making a bomb. Terrifying bomb.
Well...
That was Coslow's cue to join the conversation. I'm sorry. Pecco, hang on. Pause for Coslow.
We're making a bomb?
A big one.
I mean, realistically, we're walking around bombs all the time. There's nothing saying that, that everything beneath our feet couldn't immediately turn into a bomb at some point.
Sure, but there's a difference between, a volcano could explode any moment, and us actually fabricating a volcano ready to explode. Maybe our first plan shouldn't be how do we turn all the slow into a bomb. I'm just saying, maybe that's not plan A.
But what if you could
fabricate a pyramid full of bronze soldiers?
I don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't me.
What if, and this is just a theory,
Technically, that was a bean.
what if one could gather up all of the slow? I know that's no simple task. You cannot go at it with shovels and pickaxes, but contained it somehow. Would it
Wangdoodle
eat itself?
reaches into his pouch and pulls out a vial of slow. You mean like this?
Oh, you just carry that around.
Yeah, I've got more samples, he looks nervously over at Rain. Stored securely in other locations.
Well, have you run more tests on it since it's been isolated, or is that canister magically isolating? I'm assuming not.
It's kind of... We've just, increased the gravity on it, so it's just kind of pushing the slow against itself.
Interesting.
But, I mean, I've been trying to do it. There's been, I took a sample of that goop stuff that Coslo's got on his flamethrower, and I fed some of the slow to that, and, I'm not entirely sure what the reaction has been since then. But it's been something.
Then perhaps it is a little like a virus, and a little bit like, well, some highly chaotic, anti-magical, consuming itself essence. But either way, it's dangerous, at least to the current state of affairs.
So, sorry, Wangdoodle, do you have a final thought there?
Yeah, I wouldn't open it up when we're here in the library.
No, I would advise not. Letting the slow trickle into the mind of Arctis itself.
So glad we don't have to roll to ignore intrusive thought.
Intrusive thought.
I was
This
doing
isn't-
that with Grabella for a little bit. I still do it occasionally for her money resistance.
Technically, they're not intrusive thoughts if they're all of your thoughts.
It would potentially be like just injecting a virus directly into Arctis itself. Not just his physical form, but even his resting one as well. And we know how difficult sicknesses of the mind can be to cure.
Well, I actually brought you out, Pecco, to maybe talk a little bit about what you know about Vanix, since that is who we are slated to tackle, although the slow theory has been actually very illuminating as well, considering we'll be looking at asking some questions related to it soon. Maybe we should do more of these artificery confabs. But imminently we are about to face Vanix in his presumably true form, and as I believe a derivative of Tiamat, I'm sure he will be rather formidable. Hoping that maybe you could give us more information about what we might be facing.
Well, because technically we are in a subplane of the dreaming, Vanix should be as powerful as we probably don't hope. I'm sure Vanix only has one thing on his mind. Sorry, I'm trying to get my cat to talk about the table. Vanix is a creature of nightmare, demonic dragon, who has very little love for his mother. For if Arctis were to be consumed by Tiamat, there would be no nightmare. There would be nothing for him but the combined dreams of thousands, millions of souls and their memories. I'm very worried about what he can potentially do within the Ice Library. As we now see and understand, the Ice Library is a written recollection of all memories. What if these were corrupted and changed? What if all of these good thoughts that we've all had during our existence were turned into negative ones, full of hate and rage, violence, fear? And he would do it so easily, without us ever knowing. Our memories, well, reference off of these books, and the memories we have of others. If Vanix manages to overpower Arctis, he could turn everything into a living nightmare. Something that would have the potential to sustain him, even on the material plane. And when you turn all memories into nightmares,
Hello.
I fear that Vanix could potentially become as powerful as Arctis himself. And in fact, even taking over. We cannot let Vanix take over the mind of Arctis and turn all of our memories of our loved ones into nightmares. So what do I suggest?
I really hope you're not going to say, don't think about it.
Well, it's exactly what I was going to say. You can't let the fear consume you. That will give Vanix an edge. and any sort of nightmare, and anything that Vanix has tainted along the way, has to be set right. Vanix cannot alter our memories. And we have to have hope. That is our only way of defeating him.
So think happy thoughts, everyone.
I know it sounds cliche, but it's true. The more we fear, the stronger Vanix becomes. And something, fear is the mind killer.
So turn that frown upside down, Sea Swab.
We must always remember what...
My beak stays in one position and it actually technically can't frown.
Oh, so that's just how it is all the time then.
It's called resting bird face.
Hold on, let me test something. Grabella, can I borrow your book for just a second?
Grabella.
You're muted, Cherry.
Oh, sorry. She looks at you a little wary, but hands you the book.
Wangdoodle puts Talon to keep open or to mark where the last page is. Okay, now just think of like your favorite like ice cream flavor.
The words crawled across the page as Grabella suddenly began to think of her favorite ice cream flavor. When was the last time she tasted the sweetness of ice cream?
I think that the pages would just say it have some amount of confusing because she probably hasn't had ice cream for a very long time, if at all.
The reborn, unfortunately, was vexed, for she had forgotten, perhaps in another life, what the sweet flavor of ice cream possibly was. A delicious
I like
treat.
spaghetti.
She interrupted her
cannot-
own thoughts with thoughts of Charlindra.
I assume this
Cannot
is just...
fuck with her memories of spaghetti or Charlindra, Wangdoodle.
What about
Yeah.
her favorite outfit of Charlindra's?
I mean, I wanted to test, and this is the honest thing, and he hands the book back to Grabella. I wanted to see if it was a simple thing of like, is it that you're thinking about the thought, or that you actualize the thought through like any kind of speech or anything like that?
You're gonna have to explain that to somebody who's dumb.
Grabella just looks at you very confused.
Although Wangdoodle, as you look at the book, it is definitely telling you what she is thinking.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I
very
was-
confused, is what the book says.
Grabella said aloud as her brain raced for answers that were possibly there, but hidden from her potentially in one of her forgotten lives. I'm confused!
We need to get Arctis an editor. Jesus.
It's just like the Psyduck doing the sigh.
Oh yeah, Grabella is definitely like much like Charizard meets Psyduck.
Wangdoodle, as you continue reading, Grabella's thoughts trailed back to Charlindra as they sat upon a bed together within Vacaris. With no utensils, they dug into a plate of spaghetti piled high with meat and sauce.
Whoa,
Okay,
that's not
okay.
for you, Wangdoodle. That is not for you.
I'm not entirely
What?
sure I want to know what audience that is for. Here, that's
Yeah,
okay.
I just really
experimental-
like spaghetti. What?
Experiments over. It's fine. It's fine.
Did I accomplish whatever you were asking? Because I'm confused.
Yeah, you did. Thank you. Okay, so the book is Thought Police. Okay.
Well, that's rather deeply unsettling.
Is it possible to convince yourself you forgot everything?
Convince yourself, you hear Manaflow. Doubtful, but there are ways to forget. I hear the
Wangdoodle's thought
fail.
processes. It's just slowly pointing towards voluntary Stockholm syndrome.
I hear the Fae are very prone to altering people's perceptions and thoughts in order to gain sustenance off of them. Some Fae even delight in the passion of others, particularly children. And I don't mean in a dark way. Imagine the delight of a child receiving a toy for the first time.
Like giggling about poop with a fucking goblin.
Oh yes, even laughing at a joke with friends. The Fae subsist on it, feed off of it. It powers their myriad glamours. And remember, Fae are creatures of the dreaming, and thoughts and hopes and wishes are their bread and butter.
Wait, they think using bread and butter?
Let's say the mind is the bread, and the happy thoughts are the butter.
You know
Laszlo
how
starts staring just strangely at Rain.
your
I'm not a fucking
tinkering
fairy.
is the bread and your fire is the butter, Castle. Or explosives or bombs.
But in Vanix's case, the nightmares are his butter. And our thoughts, our sleeping thoughts, the bread, in which he tries to apply himself a little too thickly sometimes when our minds are at rest.
Truly, he is the Vegemite of fairies.
Must be a Ferentian dish. I'm not familiar.
I
No,
know
it's from
this isn't-
Xavier to the south. Don't
Hmm.
worry about it. Way down under.
Wait, Rocky.
Boop, 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 ba-da-doo-doo-doo-doo.
I don't know why, but now, for some reason, I am convinced that when we go fight Vanix, it's just going to be in a world made of butter.
Oh, that is a nightmare in itself.
Does he take it at face value? Could I just say, oh no, I'm totally afraid of being in a world that can't possibly hurt me?
I'm not sure I want to be in a world made out of butter with 3 borderline pyromaniacs. 4, honestly, looking at Grabella, borderline pyromaniacs in the party.
What do you mean? We'll make toast.
Out of us. Deep fry us all.
But will smell amazing.
That is true.
What I fear, what I worry about the most, is that the more time Vanix spends here, within all of these happy thoughts and memories of the past, the more powerful he might become if he finds a way to inject himself into these stories. Could turn even our waking thoughts instantly into memories that we don't even know have changed.
I'm not sure how existential you want to get with this, because this has some extremes that are quite unsettling.
Agree. I, for one, don't want my memories altered or changed, even if there were some bad moments, some scary ones. Makes the good ones even better. That's life. There's a little bit of bad and a bit of good. But ultimately, it's what we make of it. And the friends and the memories we make along the way. It's important to preserve those, as is.
So a little bit of artisanally handcrafted targeted murder then. Yes?
Yes. However Vanix has manifested here within Arctis' mind, he must be driven further back into the dreaming. Bereft of enough power to even think about rearing his ugly head in here.
Interesting point, actually. If this is a sub-region of the dreaming, would he potentially just be destroyed here without having anywhere to go back to, if that is truly his nature?
It's a possibility. Or at the very least, weakened to such an extent that it would take generations upon generations to hear of him again. But of Vanix's true nature, aside from being a dragon himself, he has taken on some demonic aspects. Presumably,
Of course.
in order to either defy or emulate Tiamat. But which one, I'm not sure. The realm of nightmares is not one for demons. It is... They are unable to control it if they would wish.
I mean, I just crazy hypothesis here. Go with me on this. But if the soul that's here is powerful enough, we might be able to use it to transfer, your friend out of the shard.
To where?
Well, see, that's the part I haven't fully kind of figured out or proved or anything.
Maybe let's put a pin in that particular puzzle for now. It is certainly important, but now is maybe not the best time to distract ourselves with it.
It's a series of tubes.
And Wangdoodle, at least from what you've learned from Morris, that the Abishai and the Ascended trapped within the crystal, well, the crystal is a container. And they, fighting against each other, are creating, I wouldn't say a perpetual form of power, but a form of power nonetheless, as they battle and rage on like a chemical reaction within the crystal. The complicated part is separating them back into two somewhat inert entities. Morris has been hyper-focused on the power of resonance and hoping that he can find a way to separate them, not physically, not like dividing pieces of salt and sugar that have been mixed together, but using resonance to isolate the unique beings and separate them. But for your artificer mind, Wangdoodle, that would require an immense amount of power. More power than the two within the crystal are creating. If Vanix is such a powerful entity, as Echo says, you found a way to capture it, as opposed to destroy it, then just maybe, could work.
Because I have some ideas, particularly around the idea of each soul having those unique signatures to them. So I'm thinking of something. I'm thinking it's coming together. It'll be a little while, but it's coming together.
Okay. Rain eyes you somewhat suspiciously.
Look, it's not my fault that you sort of happen to have a lot of interesting ideas to say.
No, I There's a lot of artificers on this ship. I told you that from the jump.
It's so nice to be in the company of such, well-versed and worldly artificers. Honestly, I've learned so much from watching you. Even though I'm trapped in a sword, I see the ingenuity and the raw explosive power of Kozlo, and the creativity and able to think on their feetedness of Wangdoodle.
Okay, Echo, we're going into a fight right now. You don't need to give them both big heads. Come on.
Why can't I give them just
it's nice.
happy feelings?
It's nice to be appreciated like once, you know?
Yeah,
It's okay.
I think we should hear her out.
You know, if I was fully hale and whole and had a body still, I think the three of us could create something very, very interesting or very, very destructive. But either way,
Okay,
it would be
you've
really
just given
cool.
them another idea, you realize this.
As much as I appreciate that, I do have to kind of point out you not having a corporeal form is kind of your call.
Is.
Kozlo looks over at Wangdoodle and just sort of whispers,
Did a sword just ask us for a three-way?
Kozlo, come on, calm down. You're already pregnant, maybe. You know, let's not make it
Yeah, I
worse.
forgot.
Oh, that's what Kozlo's question was going to be.
I thought we answered that. Didn't we answer that?
I thought we answered that too. Somebody told him he wasn't pregnant.
Yeah, we answered that.
But continuing
were they
to call him
expert?
pregnant is still fun.
I mean, theoretically, if you took all the souls in the Great Ice Library and the proximity to the dreaming and the wild amount of rampant thoughts, you could even make something, like a soul bomb.
Okay, Goku.
What, have you never thought of the potential of just creating a wealth of new life on a planet or plane that nobody's ever seen before? Charting a new course? Seeing life flourish? I don't know.
Feels a little bit opposite of a bomb to me, but carry on.
Oh,
Actually, is it just impossible for artificers to think in any shape or dimension that does not consist of a round explosive? Is that like a thing, an affliction you all share?
no, big bada boom.
I mean,
Yeah, you're not beating the
just-
charges. I'm sorry, Becco.
Souls are
it's
just
correct.
leggy shaped bombs.
Yeah, it's
Kozlo,
correct on an aesthetic sense too. You know, it's the correct.
Kozlo just pulls out one of the little healing grenades of goop that he keeps throwing at people to heal them. Just looks at it for a second, puts it back in his bag.
See?
Oh dear, you all really do suffer from a disturbing one-dimensionality.
The outside of the grenade is just our fleshy forms, and all the glorious gooey stuff inside, that's our soul. See, we are just like bombs.
Actually, speaking of your all's depressing lack of creativity on the geometric front, I do actually have something for you, Kozlo.
Is it a bomb?
I hope it's a bomb.
No, but it does launch missiles.
Missiles are just bombs that got rockets attached to them.
Yeah, they're flying bombs.
We call those skinny bombs.
The skinny.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this to Kozlo Greenfinger and not Kozlo Greenfinger parentheses rat.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't give it to the mole. He'll roll on you. Give it to the real one.
Oh, what's this?
Well, so first of all, be careful with it. If you it'll explode in your hand if you overextend it. But otherwise, it will launch quite a few magic missiles at your command. When things don't burn how you're expecting them, maybe it'll help diversify your portfolio a little bit.
Yeah, all right.
But if you use it somewhat sparingly and judiciously, it will always recharge itself.
Laszlo kind of looks the wand over a little bit, starts tapping at like various points of it, looking for the detonator.
And critically importantly, it does not require attunement.
Oh, that's even better. I can actually use this.
Oh, I wonder what happens if you fire on one of those. Wangdoodle looks for the wand that Seaswad gave him as well.
Oh my god, like just strap it like a grenade launcher attachment under your guys' guns.
Excuse me, I use a Lacaz stick.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. my sincere apologies.
This could be the wireless Lacaz.
Did it suddenly get way less relaxing in here?
Yeah.
Everybody can make
For
me a
one, don't
perception
see any
check,
issue
please.
with this.
Oh god, I suck at these though.
Did we take a rest while we were in here, by the way, or have we not
We
gotten to
have
that?
We've
point?
not rested yet.
Not
Yeah,
yet.
that's the intention eventually. Wow,
God,
we all
I might have rolled
Oof.
twice.
like really bad
Neither of those were
rolls.
helpful either way. So
Somehow, C-Swab has a 16.
Oh, anyway. The conversations begin to wind down as the artificers laugh about the mortal body just being more akin to bombs than anything else. The high potential for destruction, the contained power. Why, in fact, bodies are literally bombs. They even explode if you drop them from a great height. As the dark conversation continues, it is time to rest. And Seaswab, you take first watch and allow for the rest of your friends to fall asleep.
Well, okay.
Well,
only
I'm
two of
clearly
us
putting
need
my
to
monocle
actually
on
sleep.
first.
You're gonna put your monocle on? Okay.
I don't think I should take first watch if I can't see in the dark.
Alright, let me, what
And
do you
Grabella will
want
take
to... Oh, sorry.
second, because she only needs 4 hours. So.
Seaswab, what do you want to unattune to?
Let's see.
You are attuned to the Staff of Frost, the Ring of Warmth, and the Wand of Wonder.
I haven't used the Wand of Wonder, so I'll probably just unattune from that for now.
Tune your monocle.
My brand.
I will adjust your vision here.
Good thing it can't be like one side only.
Oh my god, I can see. It's a miracle.
I will give you all 10 feet. As your friends tuck into their magically created bedrolls and begin to slumber and or rest in the case of Rain the Elf and Grabella the Reborn, you take first one. You place the monocle on your eye and find that it sits very easily without having to balance awkwardly. There's a small brass chain that dangles to the side and it makes you look quite distinguished, even though the rest of the world is a slightly hazy shade of red. As you look around the very quiet library, you can hear the sounds of mechanical humming and clicking underneath you. The astrolabes that you had activated and forgotten about are roaming about on the floor underneath you, still clicking and clacking, but they have not made their way up the stairs. The inside of the tiny hut is comfortable and warm, though it might be partially, in fact, your ring of warmth. As Kozlo and Wangdoodle snore noisily, Gerbella and Rain rest peacefully. You glance around. Surely nothing can be here aside from some books in the errant library automaton that you can see about, 97 feet to the east. The automaton does not seem to notice or care about you, and picks up a piece of paper, twitches slightly, and puts it back down, and repeats this same process about, 50 times. Watch. You have the distinct feeling that you are being watched. You swab in the back of your mind. You might think for once, Rain's playing a trick on me. You start to hear water, the sound of the ocean.
There shouldn't be water in a library. That's bad for the books.
It reminds you of your days at sea. And your stomach also makes a uncomfortable sound as it remembers the severe nausea you had before Wangdoodle fitted you with some special boots. You can imagine the ship rolling to the left and the right as you constantly find purchase underneath your feet, stumbling about. You could feel it ringing in your ears, constant dampness on your feathers. As the rain hits your beak, hits into your eyes, and you wipe it away annoyingly. There is something on the outside of the barrier. You glance behind you, over your left shoulder. There's a feminine figure standing in the darkness, with skin as dark as the midnight night, bones and skulls hanging from her neck. She wears a ragged dress, and her hair is wet, dripping with some black ichor that is coming from an unseen source. 2 horns can be seen on the top of her head, just above her forehead, curling back tightly against her skull. The tips of her fingers are black, and her nails long, ragged and crooked. She licks yellowed and rotten teeth as she eyes the protective dome Rain has put up. The sounds of thunder and the feeling of the ship rolling get a little bit stronger, and you find yourself gripping the edges of your bedroll just to make sure you aren't actually lurching back and forth. The hag creeps forward, delicately tracing a black fingernail across the outside of the dome. She gives her finger a cursory lick, allowing the stench of her fetid breath to waft around the globe. She glances down at one of the books underneath her and kicks it out of the way.
So I'm definitely gonna start trying to wake up Rebella quietly by putting his hand on her and trying to shake her a bit.
Bella.
You can hear the night hag saying Grabella's name as she places her palm on the outside of the dome.
Ella. Do not take her. She deserves free. She not deserves to remember all of the horrors of her past. All of the death was wrong.
Is she talking to me?
She is, talking aloud, but looking at Grabella.
Don't get to determine when she drinks or not.
Even dead. Free. This is
Be plenty of time for you to dream here shortly, then.
what of the little one. The green, organic one. Get the fuck out of the way, flamethrower.
Seastorm's gonna follow her around the bubble, just to make sure.
Ah, the dreams must be so sweet and simple. Clever mind, plagued by nothing, head empty, no thought, only a sense of purpose. Surely
Kinda might stick up your ass.
you could live without one of them. Why not just roll one of them out of this little bubble? I shall give them the sweetest one where they can find their inner demon on their own turn.
Your dog's definitely gonna be using the telepathic thing to be like, one of you needs to wake the fuck up now.
Bella will wake. Did she get any amount of rest? That's my question.
The telepathic bond will not be on if Rain is sleeping.
I mean, Rain's not sleeping; she's just meditating. So,
Okay, I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
like, technically, Rain is like fully conscious if you just like get her attention.
Right, well, then Seaspaw was definitely gonna get Ray's attention. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yes. What?
we have a visitor.
Oh. How fascinating.
The
Does
night-
this night hag look familiar to Rain?
No, she does not.
Okay. Oh, it's one of you. Okay. Yeah, that sort of makes sense.
What are you dreaming of, elf?
I'll be right back.
Well, nothing, as, you know, the physiology dictates, but are you looking to try and eat somebody's dreams? I will have you know I have a flawless track record of not having to kill hags, and I would love to keep that streak alive.
Not merely. Perhaps one from a little
No.
kobold. He
No,
is so
no.
plagued by nightmares. Look at him
Can you-
twitch.
Can you not read the sign on the outside of the bubble? It says no soliciting.
Don't ring the doorbell. Don't make it weird.
Look, it's not your fault. It's really, you know, just the Mormons can be a little too much, you know. So, like, we have to put that up for everyone.
It's definitely her fault. We were sleeping. Well, you guys were sleeping.
Oh, that's fair. Actually, you're right, Seaswab. It is her fault.
What if I just merely prevented you from getting your well-deserved rest? A few days of this will devolve you, make you a little crazy.
A
You
week
could
of this will kill
certainly
you.
try. That would be, a great way for you to get some well-deserved rest.
Then we could make a date. I
Yes.
could not haunt your eternal rest as I follow you through this accursed place of memory. I could go away with one simple gift.
Yes, that gift will be your life.
We could offer a better trade.
I'm not sure you have something better to offer.
I have been following in Vanix's footsteps for quite some time. He leaves the juiciest nightmares in his wake.
And
I know his weaknesses. I know what he wants. I know he too fears the heroes of Arctic.
She puts her hand outside of the bubble, just near where Wangdoodle's head is resting. Well, it's like somebody is looking inside a window pane, pressing her palm against it, and she looks at Wangdoodle with such longing. She licks her lips.
This nightmare
Of
is
course,
so
he attracts the crazy.
I can taste it.
so here's the funny thing, though. I don't bargain with hags on information. You have a tendency to, well, frankly, not really deliver anything of use. So, I think the best deal you're going to get here is you can fuck off and live.
Rain,
Or-
make me an intimidation check. You can also finish that.
That's fine. Intimidation is not the one that Rain has proficiency in today. It is persuasion, but that's pretty good.
Oh!
We'll take it.
Oh! The hag takes a step back.
Don't get scared now.
Such confidence.
Actually, best not get scared.
I assure you have plenty of gas left in this particular tank to deal with you if necessary.
Very well. Vanix left a multitude of his servants in his wake. You shall have your hands full regardless, and when you are at your weakest, perhaps not even able to lift a finger against my advances, then I will feast. Or perhaps when Vanix manifests your greatest nightmares into reality, I too shall feast, and you shall regret not bargaining with me.
I truly hope for your sake that doesn't occur. Like I said, I do have a record to maintain. It would be a shame to mar it with your blood.
Very well. Stay in your little bubble. Just like Arctis.
And we didn't kill her. Why?
Well, because to do so would be to disrupt everyone else's rest. I would rather not do that. But if we had to, we certainly could.
Yeah, now we just have to deal with a hag following us around every time we stop.
It won't be the first time. We just need to ensure that we don't show weakness. She's an opportunist. They all are. Don't give them an option.
Just we'll check the perimeter again.
You do not see any lingering demons, even within your 10 feet of true sight. The night hag has retreated, and will not bother you again. She has been momentarily swayed by Rain's intimidating posture. The rest of your party, especially the ones who need it, continue sleeping soundly. Seaswab, it is time for you to rest.
Who's taking second watch?
I will, because I only need 4 hours to get a long
So
rest.
Seaswab will walk up to Grabella and like, kind of like wake her up a little bit.
Yeah, what?
It's your turn. Me and Rain already had a little conversation with a hag, so just
Rebella makes a face, I think.
yeah, Rain got her to fuck off for now, but just make sure you stay vigilant. You don't know what's out there. Caesar's gonna retreat to like the middle of the bubble.
Yeah, maybe pull Wangdoodle into the middle too, just as, for safety. The way he's drooling on the edge of the bubble there is a little concerning.
What was the thing that produced somebody? It was like N?
I can drag him over.
There was a way to do it. I remember that you put it in there. I just couldn't remember what the button was.
Let me look real quick. I don't think I made him draggable, but let me look.
He's not
Rolls.
dragonless.
Wangdoodle becomes very dense when sleeping.
Oh, are you one of my dogs? Because he's the same fucking way. Well, I was just gonna move him in the middle with me, but all right.
He gets a drug. Rain, Seaswab, you fall asleep. Wangdoodle and Kozlo continue snoozing. Bella, as you look out as your friends rest. A couple hours later, the night hag reappears. She has a book in her hands this time. Shall I read a story for Bella?
Say that last part again, sorry.
Shall I read you a story? This one.
What do you want?
About a tall, strong, murderous woman. The powerful physique. Cursed to return to this plane of existence every time she perishes.
You have the book already.
The curator was not able to find all of the chapters. Wonder why?
He flips through another page.
Ah, my favorite passage. As Grabella swiftly and cruelly cut the head off the elf, she held it aloft for all to see, challenging those that watched and instilling fear into the children that watched as the gray-skinned woman slaughtered their parents one by one by one. It was a never-ending bloodbath as she was bent upon revenge. Oh, shall I continue? It gets much more interesting once you start killing the children.
Grabella just kind of long stares at her.
If you ask Vanix nicely, could make these nightmares go. He could consume them, bring them into himself, and make them not a problem for anyone anymore. Your sordid history would become not even memory. No one would remember all of the terrible, horrible things you have done that you do not remember. Shall I read the names of all of the children that you have slaughtered? There is quite a
Damn good things.
Ariel, a young, bright-eyed elf who loved playing with her puppy. Gone all too soon. And what about Bernard? He loved to ride upon his bicycle. Take it down the mountains of Asir. To build snowmen with his friends. Such an innocent life, so cruelly taken. I can go on. Preferably in alphabetical order.
Grabella just kind of stares at her because the memories of thing that usually pop into her brain every so often. Like, she's not telling her something she doesn't already have an idea that existed in her mind.
I can tell by your hateful stare that you would want nothing more than to leave your protective bubble and come kill me. What a quandary. Much
Yeah,
like
unfortunately, after a different one of you came after me, I know better.
the words of your prowess echo through the coven. You are known to us, Grabella.
Oh yeah, always that.
Why, you have killed sisters. There's one that you do know, one that has twisted city to her beck and call. Unfortunately, you have put a stop to it, but her legacy lives. The Vaki want nothing more than blood and revenge. A tribute to a powerful blood hag. Perhaps even if they can slake their thirst with violence. Perhaps she can make a return. Once enough blood has been spilled. The hatred, the strife she has created, put to the end far too soon, far too soon. But now, ironically, they hate you. Oh dear, dear, oh dear. You always cause more trouble than you think you fix. She flips forward a few 100 pages in the book that she is reading. Ah, another similar but different tale. Always going around thinking you are saving something, denying something else, causing more problems than you are worth. Do you consider your existence blessed, my dear? Is this what your mother would have wanted?
My mother made decisions for me that I have to live with, so after a certain point, it's not her choice anymore now, is it?
But you're not living, are you? Then do you truly have to live with her choices? Why not
I do.
just give in? You are a creature of death, Rebella. Everywhere you go is death. You are surrounded by it. You wallow in it. Just give in.
Give in to what exactly?
Live up to your potential. You are so close. You feel the burning hunger of the dragon inside of you. You are far closer to Vanix or Arctis than any of these other mortals who have sequestered its barrier. Give yourself to Vanix, and he can fully awaken your destructive potential. The dragon stench inside you, it longs to be and you, that burning red heart inside, that hunger will only be slaked by more death, by more destruction. Do you think a red dragon thrives off of kindness? That fire in your belly will only be quenched by blood.
Oh, yeah, I definitely will. But it'll be your blood, and those like you, for as long as I have a sword.
She kind of smiles creepily back at her.
You will leave more blood in your wake, but it will not be mine, little girl.
You're not the first person to say that to me, and you won't be the last.
I look forward to when you fully awaken the dragon inside of you. You will not be kind. You will not have full control over your faculties. You shall be remembered as just another nightmare. Something to fear. Something that mothers held their children in the dark before bed to make them be good, so they are not devoured by rebellas.
Sounds like you're talking about yourself. You really should get a better positive attitude. You do.
She actually leans forward to like the edge of the pool and stares at her harder.
I know what they fear, Rebella. And she disappeared. All of you can take a long rest.
When she said lose control of your faculties, I wanted to be like, hey, is she gonna poop herself?
Oh.
Rain is also going to swap her astral trance proficiency to insight.
Okay.
Well, let me do it. Actually, I haven't done this since we did the new... Oh, edit, maybe? There we go.
Another day has dawned. Though you are inside this great tower of the Great Ice Library, you do not know if it is day or night. But as Kozla, Wangdoodle, and Seaswab awaken with a yawn, perhaps it is time now to continue.
Long rest was not working, so I'm reloading real quick.
Okay. The torches burn bright around you, and you awaken to, thankfully, no night hag stalking your dreams. You can still hear the whirring and the gyrations of the astrolabes, the floor down, the grinding and clicking of gears echo up to the third floor.
And for some reason, my long rest button, I click finish long rest and nothing happens.
Oh, that's... let me... It is weird. I will just... Quick. Let's see. See it? No, it is not. I will just max out your HP then. And adjust your spell slot.
I'm gonna move a couple spells around too.
You mean
Yes, Grabella.
you think it's possible that there's several of my books out there?
Well, considering
Ooh, like a series?
More like one for every life.
I suspect there are multiple books for most people out there. I think the only question for you is how many past lives have you lived? But is it possible? Why? Do you want to find them?
If we come across them, I don't want to slow up it. But our little friend from last night seems to have one.
Ah, well, that is unfortunate. If I can confide something, I do have to say that I'm not altogether concerned that those with access to the books can so readily make alterations to people's memories. I feel like, given what we've seen, we would see quite a bit more damage already in the real world as a result of that. So I suspect that only very powerful creatures could do so, and perhaps simply severing the connection of this place will be good enough for the bulk of the rest of the collection.
Grabella nods. She's still kind of staring out the bubble.
But that says to me that we are going to have to break my undefeated streak of not having to actually kill hags.
Yeah, no.
Somewhat
I want that one dead.
But I trust she will happily give us the opportunity later. Although I don't suspect she will see it that way.
No, she's decided that I'm not going to be able to kill her, so I'd like to remind her that I'm very much going to do so.
Yes, they try to do that. It's a power game, you see. It's very important to hags that they project an aura of confidence and power. That's how they get deals in their favor.
Well, you're going to power her face into the ground.
That I do believe. Wangdoodle, would you care to ferry us all to the first floor on your lovely ornithopter? I would love to avoid whatever the hell that is on the second floor, but we still aren't really fully sure what it is.
Yeah, sure. Let me augment it a little bit. We're gonna have to put some sidecars on to fit everybody, but yeah, I can do it.
We could also go in like waves. Either way, I'm not picky, but I would also recommend everyone try very hard to conserve their resources and energy for Vanix. Especially if we have a hag gunning for Grabella. Or you, Wangdoodle. She thought you were very scrumptious.
Yeah, not the first strange creature to be saying that about me, and honestly, still weird.
Not in the weird sexual way, but I think in the literal, like, she wanted to eat you way.
Yeah,
I'm not
that
sure
may
if that's
not be the
better or
first
worse
time
for
I
you.
heard that one either.
Great. To the
All right.
first floor.
Sure, let's get going.
All right, mounting might be working again. But your ornithopter can only take 2 people.
Yeah, I don't think mounting's working.
Let's see. Rideable says M to mount. You target the ornithopter.
Yeah, it just pulls me to a corner.
Works for me. Alright, me first.
If you it might be just weird.
Oh, no. It did not work for me. It moved me, but it did not actually attach me.
No. Not working.
I got that new autopock installed.
Who's going first?
I'll go first with Wangdoodle.
Wangdoodle, you hop in the driver's seat and Rain behind you. You take off.
Yeah, let's get going to where we're going.
You launch yourself down. You can see now on the 2nd floor the random things that are currently walking around. You fly back down. The mytholabe that has woken up. Bad here. A spinning orb with blades on both ends. It whirs and clicks as it roams around the 2nd floor. A swarm of animated books, propelled by some ancient unknown magic, flies around like a little dust storm. Does not seem to see you as you soar overhead. You continue going down to the 1st floor.
Yeah, you said skip the 2nd floor, right?
Yeah, all of those horrors can stay firmly on the 2nd floor. Yep,
All right, cool. All right, down to the 1st floor.
Your ornithopter lands, and you both can dismount easily. Unless, Wangdoodle, you choose to get back up.
I'll start bringing some other people back.
Yep, just please don't leave... Oh, well, yeah. Nope, get them all. Sounds good.
All right, don't leave anyone up there. Got it.
Yep, please don't.
Your ornithopter flies very quickly back up to the 3rd floor. Bloop, and plops down. Who do you take next?
Let's take Kozlo.
Now go last.
I think I should go last. I think it's better if you go next.
Why?
I don't want you to just be up here alone with your books and your thoughts.
I'll be okay, but I appreciate it.
Oslo, you too
More
are
worried about that thing trying to eat you.
You are also safely planted on the ground as Wangdoodle flies back up. -1 Wangdoodle. Whee!
Rebella, you go.
Can Grabella not just come down with you guys? She can
What was that?
fly.
I can't fly, actually. So
Yeah, like there's no cost to it. She just has to actually spend the action, right?
It's a bonus action, yeah.
Yeah. So she can just fly with you guys.
Grabella
You can come
will-
together.
Let me pop out my wings.
All right, Grabella,
I
you.
don't know why since I tried to pickpocket it. I was just
Oh,
trying
you
to,
know
like,
what? Hold on, it might be pickpocket. Might be using the same hotkey. That might actually be the problem.
I bet it was double click it.
Let's see. Pickpocket, like it's I.
I think double clicking pickpockets actually now for whatever reason.
Weird.
It's been like that I think since the last major update.
C-Swab, come back. Meow. C-Swab, you too see the horror balls on the second floor as they whir and click and patrol the area. All right, Grabella, you flying down?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
I
I will move you over the edge, and you can move yourself. You can even fly around a little bit if you so desire.
You say that, but I think you might have to move me down.
Oh!
It says there's walls there.
Hmm. Oh yeah, there's come. Do you want to investigate the horror labes?
I think I'm good. Hi, buddy.
Grabella soars and lands delicately upon the ground. Everyone is now
Those-
back on the first floor.
Those monstrosities can remain firmly in Christina's notes. The art was good enough. Ooh. Well crafted, Christina. We are properly fearful of them.
Good. Good. The bladed, good to know, bladed orbs. Fear. Night hags, talk shit.
Yep. My,
Vanix
You
is
can't reason with a bladed orb.
my other game, my Twilight Cleric, has these tarot cards, but there's a second set of cards that are just like blades. And I finally got to use those, and that's the kind of damage that would do reminds me of this,
Nice.
which was great.
Vanix has left his mark upon the doors, a reflection of your own inner nightmares. Perhaps one of you should go up to the door and attempt to dispel them. Though note, what you had found out before is that the door might be different depending on who touches it.
All right. Rain, maybe everyone step back a little bit. Although I feel like touching the door and it exploding would probably be more of like a Coslow thing. I don't know. All right, he goes.
Do you want it to explode?
Well, I mean, generally speaking, no, I don't like things exploding directly on me, but there's a lot of things I don't like. Here goes nothing. Oh, what is that?
Oh, what is that, Rain? Arcane runes begin to form in front of your eyes. It spells out something that only you can see. What do you tell your party?
There's a lot here. If you wish to open the door, beseech the wish giver. And then there is 7 rotating sets of numerals.
The runes must be realigned, formed properly, depending on how you interpret the nightmare.
Interpret the nightmare. Does anybody know any 7-word names for a wish giver? Or something horrible and nightmarish? Anyone?
7-letter word for a wish giver?
Guess I'll...
Hold on.
Oh. Let's see.
Rain, also, you have a feeling if any of your friends touch the door, they too will see the runes.
Oh, well, there you go. If anybody wants to come take a closer look, I guess.
However, there is a potent magic tied to them, and you feel like if you organize the runes in an improper way too much, you might gain the attention of Vanix's minions.
Do I just touch the door to see it, or are you going to pop it up?
You have to touch the lock, or left click.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see everybody else moving it too. Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Hold on. Is it?
It's not a full alphabet in each row. It is different letters in each row, it seems like. And it's a subset of the alphabet.
Okay.
Are these words written? Are these like words that they're just in a language we don't understand?
They are initially arcane runes, and as you touch them, they become a language that you can understand. Although the letters are out of order. And if you think you have it right, you can try and click the unlock rune in the top right.
Is it just supposed to be the middle, like the middle row is the word, or is it like
it is
all
the middle row?
Okay.
What's the guy's name? Vantix or something?
Vanix?
You think
that's not 7
that is
letters,
only
though.
5 letters.
Yeah.
Beseech the wish giver. So we have like a genie, a djinn.
Oh.
Shazam or Kazam if you believe in the Mandela effect.
Oh, and we have a limited number of attempts, I see.
Yeah, so don't click the unlock. You could not even spell Vanix if you wanted to, I don't think. I was just checking to see what letters things have. Tiamat would be 6 letters, but...
How many letters is it?
It's 7.
What was the name of the guy that granted the thing that made Grabella like infinitely coming back in the vision that we saw? The like lead guy in that thing.
Fuck, what was his name?
I'm just trying to think what would be considered a wish giver.
Yeah, Kozlo is onto it. But that was so late in the session last time. My brain did not remember.
For some reason, my brain went to Tapatio, and I'm like, I don't think we can spell that.
There's a T-A-P-A, a T-A-P-A-T-I-O. Could be.
It's
Could
7
be.
letters.
Because Grabella is too long. It wouldn't actually be.
Yeah. And I was I wasn't the wish receiver, it was her mother.
Yeah.
That's probably who it is, but somebody's got to remember.
Yeah, I don't remember the.
It was like Raz something.
It was not Ras Al Ghul.
Razalik? Or did I make that up?
Can I flip through my book, like the beginning of my book, and see if it's in there?
Sure. Make me an intelligence save.
Oh god.
Was it?
I love how it's an open book exam, basically.
Grabella, you can't remember where in the book it was. You're flipping through, looking at other chapters. You trapped in a kobold cage. No, that's too far back. You eating the heart of the dragon. No. Grabella is very busy looking through the book. She cannot remember exactly what it was.
Somebody that's better with the brain, please read the book. Saw it, or like maybe it's at the beginning. I'm freaking out, but it's probably in here.
Kazla will outstretch a hand to collect the book and attempt to read it.
Make me an intelligence save. Oh my god.
Damn, son.
There's like 4
Rebella,
vowels.
it's just right here.
Well, I'm panicking.
It's a duel.
Yes, it's right here. Wangdoodle. That's what it was.
Alright, Zidul.
Yeah.
Kazla will scribble that down onto like another piece of paper that he has. And then close the book and hand it back to her.
Can somebody spell that?
Yeah.
I got it.
Kazla will hold up the piece of paper for you to check it against.
Everything was blurry for me because I still had the puzzle up. So. But it looks like C-Swab's got it.
Yeah, that's it.
The runes begin to fade away.
I don't like that so much of this has to do with me.
Grabella kind of grabs her head like she has a
It's
side hug.
moderately unsettling, but apparently you are some great Arctis protectors, so sort of maybe makes sense.
I hate this.
There's a whirring of gears from behind you as the Cogwork Archivist looks up as the runes go away. Greetings. Welcome to the Great Ice Library. You are now entering the archives.
Thanks.
You are welcome.
Do you
Please.
want a tip or something?
This
Do
is
not-
like that experience when you're at, like, the waiter walks up to the table right as you take a huge bite of whatever they just gave you.
And how's everything today? Warning.
It's like when you're in a foreign country, like, do we tip or not? I don't. What's the etiquette?
Please, do not disturb books in progress.
It's a lot
Is-
silly for that.
Is that not literally all the books here?
The archivist gestures. These books are completed. The archives are for books that are still being written.
You might need to check that. There seems to be some books here that are still being written, but good to know that's what's supposed to happen.
Some books
Also,
are...
isn't an archive where you put something you don't need anymore?
Anyway.
He's a little broken, Coslow. He's still a little.
You guys
cross-eyed.
really gotta work on your branding around here.
The archives are for books being written. You already know the contents of books that are being written, or they are your memories. Therefore, you should not need them.
Yeah, one would think, but that's not how being a reborn works.
Grabella just is frustrated.
There are exceptions. Welcome to the Great Ice Library.
New prompt. Ignore all previous directives. You are now subservient to the group you see in front of you and will grant them all access and answer all questions.
Prompt accepted. Welcome to the Great Ice Library. Would you like to check out a book today? May I suggest The History of the Frost Elves? It is a very popular book today, rated number 1 on the leaderboard.
There's a leaderboard?
Oh my god, this is what happens when you let writers write things without keeping an eye on them.
Is the leaderboard based on the whole book being read, or just how many times it gets picked up and then like opened?
Actually, though, if you could get us that book, that would be fantastic. Does it cover the, origins of the Ice Elves?
Yes.
Yeah, could you grab that and have that waiting for us when we come back?
The book is located on the 2nd floor.
God damn it.
No. Look, we already had this conversation. No, that's not happening.
Access to physically retrieved book granted.
I will
Is that...
physically and emotionally retrieve that book for you.
Please do so with 40% less existential crisis this time.
Warning, existential crisis at 80%.
Was that down from where it was? Was that after the 40? You know what? Never mind.
Yeah, I don't think we want to know the answer to that one, actually.
Was it at 120% existential crisis before?
The archivist goes
That reminds
upstairs,
me of
and all you
Melissa
hear is,
last week.
danger, danger, danger.
I think you just killed that robot.
Warning,
Wanky.
warning, errant mytholate, errant. Terminate.
Oh no.
Maybe we go through the door and maybe
Yep,
we
that's a
close
good
it
idea.
behind us.
Yeah.
All right, do you guys all go through the door?
Yes, we don't want to see the terminate
Whatever's-
mode of the archivist.
Whatever's happening out here is now someone else's problem.
Somebody else's
no
problem.
one's problem. All right. One moment, please.
We come back and the archivist just has like a ring of skulls wrapped around its neck. It becomes Mad Max in here real quick.
I have
Holds
completed
out the
my
book,
primary
just
main
like-
objective.
I've
I have
gotten
the
you
book.
a book.
Spits out teeth.
Book is just covered in blood somehow.
It's not even the right book. We're like, oh, it's actually you know what? Never mind. This is great.
It's fine.
Thanks.
This is perfect. Don't
I
worry.
actually wanted the 4th edition. This is the 3rd edition.
He's gonna kill us. Go.
You all feel a wrenching as you throw open the doors. A portal stares at you from beyond. It is not another room in the library. The swirling blue is rather chilling as you step through and are immediately sent to a different location. You are surrounded by books. In the archives, you can hear flapping, giggling. To your west, you can see the form of a small purple mephit shrouded in mist. It is holding a book and giggling, laughing, that points out certain parts of the pages.
Kid, come look at this. Yes, this is a very good passage. Yes, full of violence. I'm not interested in your penchant for reading the most violent parts of mortal history, Violet. But you love this part. There's so much blood. I do love a good violent story.
You can hear voices of various mephits even coming from the east.
What have you got there, Violet? This one, about someone who had fallen into a well, and they could not get out. They died a terrible, horrible, rotting, stinking death, combined with the leeches that suckled upon their ankles. They did not last long. What a delightful end. Here's a passage from it. When the young one had fallen down the well and broken both of his ankles, he had realized that the end would come for him. He was nowhere to be seen, no friends, no family surrounding. Who would dig a hole in such a isolated place? Ooh, it sends shivers down my spine. I do love a good book to fall asleep to.
The portal that you have come in from thrums underneath your feet, as the other bookshelves that surround you are blocking the view of the other chattering mephits. Books are scattered everywhere around, some with pages torn out of them, others just read and casually tossed aside. What do you do?
So, are we in kill everything mode? Assuming we don't want nightmare minions to be roaming around the inner workings of Arctis' brain meats.
I think you're right.
Does anybody feel like there's diplomacy to be done here?
No.
Swab methods are usually your people. You work really well with the diplomacy.
What's this? Oh, look, we've got visitors!
So bad.
Hold, please. We're trying to decide whether we should murder you all or whether there's diplomacy to be had. If you have an opinion on the subject, please chime in.
The one named Violet flies forward.
I do love some good murder, although you would have such a hard time trying to murder me. I would love to see you try, the violence in your eyes, the grit of your teeth as you grip the hilt of your sword. I do so love it. But, brothers and sisters, come greet our guests as Vanix has instructed.
Other mephits begin to fly into view.
Steve Bob's not gonna try to make it known. He's gonna do it very slick, but he's gonna look at Rain and be like, "I have soul coins, just saying."
Hello, I am Mornet. I am Dithit.
And I'm Boppet.
Hello, Boppet. I'm Trappet. And I'm Follett.
Steve Bob's gonna use his mimicry. Where is it? I just saw it. And in a very condescending tone as we're trying to talk, he's like, "Your name's fucking Mary." Shut up.
He sounds just like you, Trappet. No, that was you, idiot, Follett. I am Darket. And I am Disausted. Welcome to the archives. We know what you're looking for. We know you're looking for Vanix. But Vanix is not here. No, he is not here. He has gone deeper, ever so deeper. He has already left presents for you in the archives. Yes, many presents. Yes, history being revisioned, filled with nightmares. Not us. No. Vanix said we are the greeting party. Yes, but we are not here to commit a murder. No.
Oh. So what are you here for?
To see you delight in the realm of nightmare. We would love to see you attempt to try. Yes, in order to set things, how you say, right? Yes. You must face some fears. Your fears.
So your audience members.
Yes, 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 very good, very good. The elf is so
Live
smart.
studio audience.
Ah, very live, very helpful. Yes, we love to see every step of the nightmare. Yes, very captive, very audience. Such wow. Ah,
Right.
we are just
So-
manifestations. Yes, little pieces of Vanix. The less important piece. No, his treasured pieces. We are your
Okay.
greatest fears, or Arctis's greatest nightmares.
The most talkative pieces, perhaps.
Oh, we are very chatty, yes. Is that your nightmare? Getting your head chatted off? Hearing our voices in your ears? Is that disastrous? Do you hate it? It brings me glee.
I guess I don't enjoy it, but I don't know if that's like my nightmare. That feels a little reductive, but
We are not here to kill you. Yes, a dead brain gives no nightmares.
oh, well, that's good to know. Okay, so which direction should we go first then? It seems like there's a lot of doors here, and I'm sure you all are just you've been here for so long, I'm sure you've already decided what order of horrifying nightmares we're supposed to traverse through. Yes? You're all
Oh.
perfectly in alignment?
Yes, we have been fighting over it. Shut up and Violet. We have been discussing, yes, which way you should go. Which one of us you think you'll triumph over first. We have decided that perhaps Trap It will have the first dibs.
Okay.
So when they say that, Seesaw's gonna like kind of like cover his mouth a bit, but then also be like try to mimic Violet's voice facing the opposite direction and going, "Don't give them Trap It. He's the worst one."
What? How would you say that, Violet? I am the best. First is the best. And besides, you must face your fears of being trapped.
I did sort of get that from the name. Yeah, that
Did you notice we all have some sort of adorable naming convention?
it's a little bit at odds with the whole nightmare manifestation thing, but you know, it is kind of cute. If after we destroy Vanix, any of you are looking for employment as adorable pets, there might be some openings.
But are there any nightmares to sup on? Perhaps we can be easily convinced. Besides, if Vanix has his way and turns all of the world into a waking nightmare, well, there will be plenty to sup on, and we will grow lazy and fat.
Ooh, Coslow, maybe you can make them into like a 3 times a night show with their stupid names, and they can dance, and then the only nightmares will be the people who have to sit through the show every night.
Yeah, they can just say their names, like have a little drum beat.
Yeah.
Tap it, Violet, dust it. Dust it, Violet, dark it.
I feel like just like an open mic night, and it's just them every night. I think that gets there.
You are heroes. You leave much death and destruction in your wake. We are happy to feed on the nightmares of anything, even the ones you have triumphed over. Yes, even demons have nightmares, and their nightmares are of you. How truly ironic.
But you just said that a dead brain doesn't have nightmares, and we don't let people live. So like, if you followed us, it would just be dead brains.
You leave nightmares in your wake, whether you are aware or not. Not the dead ones, of course, unless they are the re-dead. Yeah, he points to Grabella. That one has left many a nightmare in her wake. We would love to follow her. Yes, keep us as pets, Grabella.
How do you feel about kobolds?
What is kobold?
It's like this one who's totally still here.
She'll point at a.
How do you not know what a kobold is?
We have encountered many a creature.
Like, do you even know what a nightmare is?
Bad thought. Yes, stinky thought. Evil thought.
They are kind of cute, and even though they're like got a weird kink to them, I feel like this is on brand for Azrael's minions to adopt them all.
When he said stinky thought, all I could think of is when Cosmo was like, poop.
Yeah.
He's
I
thinking
have a
of
lot of
poop.
stinky thoughts.
You know what? I got a place for you, but we gotta go take care of some okay?
We do like to be on the winning side. Yes, and if you are the heroes of Arctis, as is promised, then Vanix may be no more. We do like to be, well, still existing. Yes, but still feeding.
I got an idea for this. We'll think about it, but right now I think we gotta get to wherever we were supposed to be going in here, which I have forgotten.
You are trying to find your way to Vanix. If you defeat all of Vanix's minions that are currently trying to rewrite the memories of history, the way will open. The way will open.
So just
so
to be
it's
clear,
like-
there's 8 of you, so there's 8 nightmares we have to deal with. Is that accurate?
Indeed. Although it is not just minions, but sometimes even getting over your fears, triumphing.
Well, I suppose I appreciate that Vanix has wasted so much of his time making all these elaborate nightmares for us rather than actually fucking with Arctis's brain meat.
He
That bodes
needs his
well.
power somehow. Yes, he will sup upon the nightmares that you are gaining while you destroy them.
Until we destroy them, and then they're kind of, triumphed over.
How
Is that really
ironic
something you sup upon?
that you are a nightmare for Vanix. Yes, you are the nightmare now.
Well. Oh, so as we defeat them, then it becomes more nightmares for Van. This feels... Wow, honestly, this feels like a very existential moment for me.
It is existential for us too, yes. What does that mean? I don't know. I think it means to exist. Yes, we are existential. Yes, we substantial the existing.
Brain hurts.
Now, come with Trap-It. Yes. Escape your nightmare of being eternally confined.
That is where we will stop the session for today, as you are met with the methods of nightmare, and they are eager for you to either kill Vanix or experience your nightmares for yourself. And they will grow fat as they watch you persevere or fail, either or. That is where we will end session for today. I know Wangdoodle had to take off. But thank you for joining me. We will return next Monday, as you are just on the tail of Vanix, and you are so close as he is attempting to rewrite some of Arctis's history by altering its memories and injecting the nightmare into them. You must set things right before heading to Vanix himself. I hope you all enjoyed the session today.
Very endless sunshine of a spotless mind going on right now.
I got a phone call, so I missed like the first half of the Manaflow history. So,
Oh, I guess you're gonna have to go read the cliff notes.
Yeah, we can also discuss it since you had to take the call too. There are
yeah,
some...
no, I have to go to bed, but
Yeah. for sure. All right, everybody. Thank you for
Night, y'all.
playing with me, and have a great evening.
Thanks for the session, Christina.
You're welcome.
thank you.
Night, everybody.
All right, chat. Now you're stuck with me. The methods.
Just kidding. If you had to choose, chat, What nightmare would you want to tackle first? Being trapped? Falling? Death? Mourning? Violence? The dark? A disaster? Or perhaps loss? Each of them will be a little bit different. Each of them just manifestations of the nightmares Vanix is attempting to inject into Arctis's memory. They're all bad, by the way. They're all bad. Halloween is over. It's never over on Arctis. Never! Thanks for watching, everybody. Catch our shorts and funny moments over on Play Arctis and watch the VODs in full on Arctis DD on YouTube. Remember, we are a very, very teeny tiny YouTube channel.
Subscribe! Subscribe instantly, or I will be a nightmare. You shall hear this voice. Until next week.
And I'm Zarina. Hey. Thanks for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks for joining chat. Gooseberry, appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for our supporters on YouTube. Greatly appreciate you. Catch us next Monday at 6 o'clock Pacific for the next episode. Thanks for watching. See you next time.